Well, it's Thursday at 9 a.m. Welcome to Indie Talk.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Yes.
I'm Kyler Collom, and this is Indie Talk, 9 a.m.
So have you been like warming up your voice for the parade?
Sure. Every Tuesday, Thursday at 9 a.m.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
I get
You
prepared.
have a scheduled time for this. That's good.
Yes. I make
It's the
sure
only way it happens.
at least twice a week for an hour I get some good practice in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
There's a big meeting tonight that I don't think I'm going to make it to for info on that. So I'm going to hopefully make the last second one that's next Thursday instead.
You're
gonna
such
be
a pro. You
blast.
don't even go to pre-production meetings.
Well, I mean, I'll go, but I'll be an hour and a half late.
We've noticed that around here too.
I try.
Yeah.
That's my job.
To not be at production meetings.
Exactly. So how's Jonathan this morning?
Oh, I'm so good, man. It's a morning.
It is.
It's my favorite time of day.
That's why we do these at 9 a.m., right? We could have we used to do it at 8 a.m., remember?
We used to do it at 8 a.m. Yep. Sometimes at 8:05.
Yeah.
We don't know why.
Stuff happened. Things were
Traffic in the morning.
traffic,
It's brutal.
weather. It was like the winter and stuff.
Could you imagine trying to get to work at 8 a.m. now with road closures?
Yeah, gosh. It didn't start until the earliest it was going to start today is 9 a.m. So also, yeah, not breaking now, but news. The 3rd Street Bridge in Minot, or at least the northbound lane, is going to be closing today.
It's a summer event.
Yes,
it happens
at
every
this
year.
point, yes. I was there was a part of me that last night when I was reading that at home, I wanted to get up early this morning and grab a camera and go and see if I could take some pictures. That didn't happen.
Just take some pictures.
Well, I mean, go under walk by the bridge, see if I can actually see what they're talking about
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun.
with some of the damages and stuff. Because I mean,
It seems like 8 a.m. was rough. Yes, Miranda should have 8 a.m. was rough.
yeah, you're not
It was
wrong.
it was rough for the guests. It was rough for us.
Neither of us are morning people, and we made it happen anyways.
Yeah, we did our best.
Those daily briefs, though, that was
Daily Briefs was a month of
like 6 weeks
brutality.
of just
And if they could come back,
They could. We could do it again.
not opposed to them coming back.
No, maybe not.
They weren't terrible.
No.
But they were rough.
Yeah.
They were rough when you had to do like 3 days in a row
Yeah. Got tiresome.
because it took
Exhaustion.
prep the night before,
Yep.
and then you got up.
You had to wake
had
up.
to be here by 7. If you're here after 7, you're going to be late.
Yep. It's not going to be up at 7:30. It's going to
Yeah.
be like 7:35. And
Yeah. And it's one take.
Yep.
If you're here after 7, you have to get it done in one take.
Yep. That's the thing. Yeah. If I got here at 7:10, if I don't do it in the first take,
Yeah.
it's 7:40. It's getting up at
Right, yeah.
that 7:30 thing we plan. So
That was
behind the scene production stuff for you guys there.
right. Those are the good things, man.
They are.
That's fun.
I love listening to that stuff.
Yeah. But honestly, we got to get some other variation. If there's some type of content form that you think would be interesting, let us know, because we might be interested in creating it.
Yeah. After the mayor election in less than 4 weeks, all of a sudden we're not going to know what to do for like 3 months till the election starts up again. And then all of a sudden we can do it all over again come next like February, March.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's great about Minot is we're always having elections, so we always are able to cover those.
Exactly. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. And yeah, so
I would just say I love it, my guy.
he loves it. All right, well, run us through this topic list today. It's a good one.
Let's start with, we already touched on it. The 3rd Street Bridge is closing again. Obviously, over the last year and change, there's been a lot of issues that have come up with the inspections on it. I know it was closed for a few months last summer when they did some touch-up stuff to it and it reopened again, and now they had another annual inspection of it, and they announced that it's going to be closing. So half closing. The southbound lane apparently will still be open.
So that stinks.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get from north to south Minot.
Yes, which I have this. I was going to save it for the end, but should we do it now? Should we start off with it? Okay. So I am power ranking the current north-southbound lanes in Minot, and from my estimation, there are currently 4 north-southbound lanes open in Minot. There are. We'll start at the top. Well, should we start? We'll start at the top.
Just start somewhere.
Number 1, the most obvious. It's Broadway.
Oh, that's still open.
It is, yes. The Broadway Bridge has not closed.
Dude,
it is still
when the
new.
Broadway Bridge was shut down to like one lane, both directions, that was
It
brutal.
was a wild time in life.
That was
I remember
not great.
sitting on Number 2 on my power ranking list, the West Bypass for like 2 hours trying to get from North Hill to South Hill during the flood.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
That's when it was just a 2-lane road.
Yeah,
I
that was
remember
awful.
it was right around.
Good old Tom Schrader broke down some stories about that.
Yeah,
he on his motorcycle.
He did, yeah. That's true. That was a blast. I remember that time frame. It was like right around the 4th because fireworks were being sold. So a ton of people would just, because it was standstill traffic, a ton of people would just pull over to like the fireworks stands, and I don't know if they'd buy stuff or just hang out. But like I remember seeing they were packed on the bypass there. Mm-hmm. Good times. But number 3, so that's number 2. The number two current north-south is the West Bypass.
Number 3 is Miranda's number 1.
This is my the 6th 8th Street is not, that's my personal favorite. That's the one I use to get to work all the time. That is number 3 on my power rankings list simply because it takes you through so much residential area.
Gotcha.
So it's
watch out for kids.
Can get a little bit more congested there. And then finally number 4, I think probably the least known of the ones is the East Side 27th Street bypass, where you go up by the Enbridge tanks, kind of by the fairgrounds, loop all the way around, and you're up on the north side of the bypass.
For sure. Yeah, so I used to work downtown area, and I would drive 16th Street south. Mm-hmm. Just drive 16th Street, and I'd go south on it, and it'd bring me by the school. But it'd be like before 8 in the morning, of course, I'm driving. And during school season, I'd be totally like checked out, you know? And so there's so many like kids and stuff. Yep. And
17-year-olds driving. And
they're all trying to cross the street and whatever. And I was like, dude, I just got to stop taking this route because I'm sadly, like respectfully, not trying to overly make a joke of it. I'm going to hit one of these kids because
you're not in the mindset.
Not anticipating a kid just to cross the street, even though I should be stopping and waiting for them. I understand that right now.
But
at 7:30 in the morning, 7:45 in the morning, was struggling to understand that.
You're just going through the
felt
motions.
like vehicles had right away. So I changed my route.
That's a good call, Jonathan. Yes. I don't blame you for that. It's probably for the best. Save some potentially hairy situations.
Oh, that would not be good at all.
So those are my top.
Bonus for 6th Street is Roger and waving to everyone by Jim Hill Middle School. That's the bonus.
There you go. I love it. I love it. No, that's my current power rankings of
those are the only. I'm not only perhaps, but basically the 4 main ways to get from north to south right now.
You're going to cross the river pretty much. Those are the 4 main ones to do. So I looked on maps last night and I racked my brain. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else that's open because the one by Ebbs is closed. Obviously 16th is closed. 3rd's going to be half closed. So we're sitting pretty right now.
Yeah.
Fair's a week away, folks. It's going to be a great time.
Yes. Cannot wait. Are you going to the fair?
Of course. Yes.
What are you going to do at the fair?
I'm going to eat food.
Anything else you're going to do?
Probably. I'll walk around.
Going to pull some people?
No. Maybe.
You're not doing polling?
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going
Asked so many leading questions, but we're going to get nowhere. Nonetheless, what's your favorite thing to eat at the fair?
Oh my gosh.
This is not sponsored, by the way.
No, this is, we love, who doesn't love the fair in Minot? Well, some people, but my favorite food at the fair, I don't even know. I'm a big guy, so I love the frozen chocolate dipped cheesecake on a stick.
That's a lot right there.
That is. It's a good time. The bloomin' onion is a classic.
Yeah. Is it better at the fair though?
Probably not.
Like there's some things that just aren't better at the fair, and that one is borderline for me.
Tubby's.
Yeah, that's fair. So one of my favorite things at the fair isn't there anymore.
Oh.
Wild Rice Burger.
Oh, that place was banging back in the day. I remember that. They had like the buffalo burgers and stuff.
So here's the deal. I don't like Wild Rice. And one time I'm like, all right, I just want a burger. So fine, I'll do this.
It was so good.
It's genius because it's just like all this seasoning, just the rice soaks it in.
Yeah.
And so all you taste is just burst of flavor.
Yeah, it's so good, dude.
It's so good.
Oh, I miss that place.
That place. I miss that place every year.
You know what? I no knock to it necessarily, but my most overrated fair food?
Donuts.
Turkey leg.
Yeah.
It always looks so good and so amazing. And it's just...
I've never had it. Is it dry?
A little bit.
Of course.
It's like, it's
big.
turkey. It's a mess. Like I'm
You're
not
going to go
it's-
pass out after you're done with it.
Yeah, like it's not my thing.
Not mine either. That never had a chance.
And, well, but everybody, you always see, that's one of the most common ones you see. Everyone walking
because
around with that big
It's
turkey.
like understand the geography of where we're at.
That's true.
You got the ranchers and the farmers coming in, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to get myself a turkey leg." Like,
You betcha.
yeah,
I love it.
I can see my boy. He enjoys hanging out at the farm. I can see my boy one day thinking that that's pretty cool to walk around with a turkey leg.
Well, because it does. It looks
Yes.
aesthetically pleasing. You got
Right.
this big thing. It's all charred. It looks tasty, and then it's just.
Right.
What's your most overrated fair food?
Overrated fair food. Well, I don't think about this one often. I don't know, man.
I know.
I
I just have
Maybe
that
like
one
funnel
ready.
cake or something.
Yeah. Also, this is totally off script. We weren't
Yeah.
planning on going here, but
Probably funnel cake.
I agree with that. Honestly, though,
I like the donuts. Those are good, but you gotta get the cinnamon sugar to work right.
Yeah, and
One of my like underrated ones is the place that has the flavored ice cream, where it's soft serve ice cream, but it's got like cherry flavor and whatever.
swirls in it and
yeah,
whatever.
harkening back to, I don't know if everybody remembers this, but McDonald's used to do this back in the day. Do you remember that?
of course,
Yes, harkening back to those
did
days,
they ever
man.
do it here?
I don't
remember
know.
the commercials of it and stuff.
No, where I was raised, they did it. So love that. But I get it in a cup. I'm not a cone guy.
Yeah,
Like, why waste calories on the cone? The cone is overrated.
I like the cone, but I don't like the cone while I'm at a 90-degree summer fair day.
The most money move that my dad ever taught me. It's his 60th birthday on Saturday, by the way.
Happy birthday.
We
Happy early birthday.
celebrated.
Yes.
This would have been a great story for when we celebrated that recently. Most money move was because I didn't like cones, and it's like you eat the whole ice cream cone, and then you get down to the worst part,
The big chunky part at the bottom.
the cone. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
I just don't like the cone, so it's like, why? Like at this point, we can just throw it away. Well, he taught me a little bit about science or whatever this would be, where if you stick the whole cone in your mouth and you suck on it, it creates a vacuum where you can get all the ice cream out of the cone and then throw it away. That's money. That is
awesome.
money.
That's awesome. I never would have thought of that. That's genius.
Yes.
I mean,
that is.
wow. Okay. Fair enough, though. I mean, what if you have if you have a hole in it, you've had bigger problems at that point.
If you have a hole in it, you
already
might not
had
have
a
any
mess.
ice cream left in the
Yeah,
cone.
you already got a mess at that point.
Yeah.
So.
But
That's an
honestly, it
amazing
could probably
story.
still be a small hole and be fine.
Likely
Because
so. Unless you
it'll overpower.
don't blow it out. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a good move.
So, yeah,
What do
fair.
I normally eat there though? Now, honestly, after the wild rice burger, it's a surprise. Like I have no idea what I'll eat.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love the
always-
cheese curds. Huge cheese curd guy. I actually do really enjoy the lemonade now. Although
Lemonade.
you want to know, this is such a terrible story. I shouldn't even said this story. I scammed the lemonade people last year.
What?
Yeah, I think it was last year.
How'd you
It could have
do
been the year
that?
before. I think it was the year before. So the year when all the candidates were giving out $20 gift cards
Yeah.
if you donated $1.
Yep.
Well, of course I did that, right? Because
Old
like,
Dougie B.
why would you not do this?
It's such a good deal.
The hidden stream. My son eats his cones from the bottom, and he's not even 2 yet. Figured out on his own. He has potential.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. What a monster. I
He
love
has a
it.
huge future ahead of him.
Yes.
So these $20 gift cards. Well, Miami guy Suarez did it too, isn't it
I
Suarez?
think so, yeah. Yeah, the former mayor of Miami. Yep.
Well, the problem with it with those gift cards is like you have to be right on the dollar amount in order for them to go through.
Sure.
Okay, well at the fair they're like just trying to get you into the next person, and so I was like, I'm gonna try this, and I told them like I don't know if this is gonna work, but try it because I think the amount was more, and then I was gonna pay with a different card, and they're like, oh yep, it went through. I'm like, all right, sounds good. I'm like, and I don't know exactly like what the whole process was, but like, yep, you're good to go. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not sure if I'm good to go. Are you sure that I'm good to go? They're like, you're sure? Yeah, we're sure
The
you're good to
lemonade
go.
you paid for was certainly worth more than $20.
Well, yeah. However the numbers worked out, just go with the numbers because it would have worked out for that part, but I don't know.
Okay.
Nonetheless, I get to the end and like 15 minutes later or maybe longer, I get the notification. I think it was like I left and I got the notification that like it charge didn't go through.
Oh, so you didn't even.
I'm like, guys, I tried to make this right, but
you even gave it a shot, man.
yeah. So
wow.
I got free lemonade one year.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man, I look forward to that. Having a big old glass of ice for like $12 that has a little bit of lemonade in it. Gosh,
come on. You got to get the big
I
bills.
have one still from last year.
Yeah, that's right. Break that in, get that refilled.
Darn right.
It's gonna be a good time.
It is.
Looking forward to the fair.
Yes, make sure you pop out. It's always a good time. Maybe you'll see one of us wandering around.
So there's bigger news in the fair going on this week, though.
There is. Should we start statewide or should we stay?
No, let's start local.
All right, go ahead, Jonathan.
He wants me to lead it off. So basically, we're gonna give the whole background on this one because this turned pretty interesting yesterday. There were some articles put out by friend of the show, Rob Port.
Mm-hmm. Last Thursday, I think.
We say friend of the show anytime somebody's come on.
Yeah.
We had a good conversation with him a couple months ago. And he did some articles, did background checks on each of the candidates, and had an article that came out about that. And included in that article, or the key players in that article, were Josiah Royce and Rob Fuller.
Mm-hmm. You betcha.
So for Josiah Royce, he has active lawsuits against the city. And then he also has, we talked about those before or on the podcast with him about those things. For Rob Fuller, it was a situation out in Colorado from when he lived there. And so, okay, whatever. There was statements released by Rob Fuller on it. There was the back and forth.
Yeah, he released a video, then Port released another article about the video, and then he released another statement.
Right. So the whole back and forth between Port and Fuller, and then
Rob.
We'd kind of moved on.
Yeah.
Until yesterday.
And then yesterday happened. Yeah.
And there is a certain group that decided that they were going to insert themselves into this race. That was the Starr Valley Dem NPL, which is an interesting thing. It's a nonpartisan race. Mm-hmm. That's something that everybody gets passionate about, is that this should be nonpartisan. Well, suddenly a partisan group was putting a billboard up that said, "Vote for one without a criminal record." And so then they had red lines running through Royce, and they had a red line running through Royce and a red line running through Fuller. So in insinuating that both of those individuals had criminal records. Well, that got taken down because I'm not sure. I'm not going to get into all the legal aspects
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that got taken down though because there was a statement that was, Fuller objected to it because he felt like that he doesn't have a criminal record, and so then that was insinuating that he did, and so it crossed a line that was too far. Obviously, negative campaigns have become a part of modern politics, whether we like it or not. But even if you're going to do a negative campaign, at least do it right. So then Starr Valley Dem NPL didn't stop. They released another deal on their Facebook page going and talking about it more, but then they take it all down. That's the epic part.
Like I get the billboard. I was the one online was a little more interesting because it was like last night.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I couldn't find it this morning.
It said something about like
Mr. Fuller didn't like our billboard by Highway 2 and 60th Street Southwest. He probably doesn't like this public record either. And it was the
record of his
screenshot or record that was in Rob Port's article.
Yep, of his. Where they signed away the agreement on everything and got that moving forward. And yeah, that was a big old bunch of a situation that's been going on the last week now.
I think the biggest deal is this, is what's your viewpoint on obviously candidates going at each other, that's a lot of fun. Okay. I enjoy that. I honestly enjoy that. Enjoyed it at the debate. But what's your view on it when it goes in, right now we have the source or the source value may have not taken it down. I may be wrong on that.
Fair. But regardless, yeah, it added.
Yeah, I'm wrong on that. That's still up on their Facebook page.
That guy is up.
I pulled up the state one instead of the local.
Fair.
But the bigger question is, what's your viewpoint on having the like a player like the Starr's Valley, and whether it was the Minot area Republicans, I don't care who, going and weighing in on the city races heavily. More than just endorsing a candidate, which already I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like that. That's what I was going to kind of lead to. Like, I feel like this, generally, it's not maybe the worst thing to have opinions thrown out, but all of a sudden when you start opening up a door to possibly Pandora's box when you start doing this stuff, because now all of a sudden you could start seeing, I mean, the other side come in and they can start endorsing people and they can start trying to throw their own money at stuff. And I feel like it can really muddy the waters of something that's nonpartisan. Like I'm not opposed on anything like this when it comes to a statewide race or any kind of legislative stuff.
Right,
like, all of that is partisan.
Within reason. Although even at the what's interesting is like when North Dakota does something, they do it wrong. So, and I say that because like back when Fedorchak and Becker were in the primary, you know, you had the nasty text that got sent out day of insinuating that Fedorchak drops out.
I know that's I think still hasn't been resolved yet. I don't believe.
It hasn't been. And so I it's like, guys, if you're going to do negative campaigns, don't lie.
Like, or don't open yourself up to,
which the Fedorchak Becker one was, that was a straight up lie. There's no
complete misrepresentation and a complete
they were completely trying to
they were taking a statement from
wildly out of context
from an interview from months prior and trying to put it out on in that day's light. It was like something they were trying to insinuate she was dropping out,
right?
Like the day of, and it was a hot mess. And no one's gotten. I don't think fault's been placed on that yet, but like it's that's such a murky slope there,
right? Yeah, it is. It is. I don't like that, and I don't like at the state level, but I dislike it a ton more at the city level. This is a race where let the candidates have their differences, let them,
because it's a very distinctly 4 different people running.
Yeah, it is. Like, it is, and let them go back and forth. Let that happen. That's healthy. Might be too positive of a word, but I think overall that's a good thing because it's natural. But I think it is positive in some ways in that it helps those differences really get shown, brought to light, distinguished, and you begin to see true character of candidates. So, and I think all those things are good. But when you have third parties that are, I don't know, in the city races, I don't love it. It's part of politics, probably. That's probably what the detractors will say. That it's just part of the game. Well, that's fine. I still don't have to like it. Randy Schuler, we saw a partisan group heavily involved in the primary last season in Minot. We did. And I don't know that I like that either. Obviously, I would not have strongly advocated about it at that time. Newer to the whole game, but
just don't like seeing partisan entities come heavily into a nonpartisan race.
Right,
like,
that's the biggest deal.
I can't be shocked if they endorse someone. I might not love it, but I don't think that's a shocking thing. But when it starts getting past that, that's when it's even more.
The candidates are seeking endorsements from every single group there is in the area. And so that's part of the game. I don't know that I don't know that I love that, but
it just feels like it can start to open the door of why have a nonpartisan election.
Right. But I think you're going to find that the endorsement, but when you go and have them throwing a lot of money into it or
from any direction,
running campaigns for it, advertising campaigns, then that's crazy. And what's interesting is that public board, it recently got bought out. So it's, I mean, you can get a billboard up for like $29 a month or something like that right now.
Some incredibly cheap prices we got going. Some hot buys.
Crazy.
Maybe you'll see a Dakotan billboard coming soon.
Probably not.
I said maybe.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Lots of drama in the mayor race. It's
mostly unnecessary.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know. It feels like so much from last week could have been avoided, but then it just spilled into a further point, and now it just keeps spiraling, and now financial disclosures are all set to be in. I think they were due like end of last week, so I'm going to be reaching out trying to get those and figuring all that information out. Expect something about that probably next week.
People should love that.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. See who's spending money where, all that, and where it's coming from. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
I look forward to it.
I do too. When do you think you'll get that back by?
Today.
He doesn't even know.
Today, when we're done here, is when I'm going to request it.
Our goal is to have that out next week.
Yes, hopefully next Tuesday or Thursday. It's going to be the plan.
Be a good time. Very cool. So, well, keep tabs on this race, though. It's coming down to the wire, August 5th. Get out and vote. Text a friend. Tell them, get out and vote. If you want to, you can go vote today, though.
You can. You can go to the Ward County Administration Building, and you can get an absentee ballot. You don't even have to take it home and mail it. You can fill it out right there and drop it off.
It's crazy.
It is.
Have you done it yet?
No, I said
you don't even know who you're going to vote for.
I don't have a clue. I'm gonna
so hard. This
I'm gonna
race.
Vote the day of. I'm gonna go in probably about 7:15.
You're gonna vote the day of?
Yeah.
I thought you.
I always vote early. I'm not gonna do the absentee ballot one this year. I'm gonna go in the day of. I want to see how busy it is.
Yeah. Tyler on the loose.
I know.
You're gonna go at 7:15 a.m. You said.
That's my goal. I'm not
when
saying it's gonna happen.
When do polls open?
7.
Oh, okay. So you're probably gonna be late for that Tuesday episode.
Well, it depends how busy it is. If it's slam packed and I gotta wait, then I'm probably just gonna come up here.
Go back to bed. Be here at like 8:50. But that night, night of August 5th, the plan is to go live for a couple hours.
Yep.
Have a few guests on.
Yep.
Talk about a mayoral race.
Polls closing.
Yeah.
Bringing everything full circle.
You should totally do exit polling.
All right, maybe I will.
Yeah, that'd be good for that.
I am off on Tuesdays, so I can
yeah, you should do that.
I'll do it just for the heck of it.
And maybe I should do that. Maybe that's the name of the game.
Yeah, I'll go to the south entrance. You go to the north entrance.
All right, we'll see. And that'll be a good time though. We're gonna have guests on.
Be on for a while. We'll break down. We'll go on a little before the polls close. We'll go bring everything together, wrap it all up. And as soon as we get answers on who's winning, we'll let everyone know.
What we should do, we should do exit polls, but we should also get like on the spot interviews.
Yeah.
From people leaving the polls.
That would be interesting.
That'd be fun.
That would be.
Why this election is important to them.
Yeah. Why they decided to come out and vote.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the turnout looks like.
Yeah. I'm excited for, 5,000 people to get out.
I would love to see it.
All right, man. 4 candidates.
Less than 4 weeks.
What's the ballot order?
It is Royce, Janser, Pittner, Fuller.
Yep, that's right. Right to left.
Yep. Yeah.
Royce, Janser, Pittner, Fuller. Looking forward to that. You don't have to decide who you're going to vote today, but by August 5th, make sure you have that figured out. Make sure you show up and vote.
Or if you have decided again, go pick up that absentee ballot and drop it off.
Absolutely. Well, there's some stuff going on around the state, and we're going to talk about that in about 15? minute 15.
Heck yeah.
Sounds good. We'll see you after the jump.
In the demanding world of oil and gas, precision, safety, and efficiency are non-negotiable. Unmanned operator drone services revolutionizes how you monitor, inspect, and manage your operations. With cutting-edge technology and expert operators, we deliver real-time data, detailed reports, and actionable insights for our valuable clients. Why risk the safety of your team or waste precious time? Our drones access even the most challenging areas with ease, reducing downtime and enhancing safety across your sites. We take the guesswork out of your projects by offering LiDAR, mapping, and inspection services so that your projects stay safe, on budget, and on time. Unmanned operator drone services, where technology meets safety, precision, and efficiency. Contact us today to elevate your operations. Yes, pun intended.
Enjoy Minot's finest authentic Mexican cuisine with a view at Mi Mexico. The rooftop patio is open and ready for you to enjoy a margarita or other cool refreshment along with genuine mouth-watering Mexican entrees. Mi Mexico, South Broadway.
Hello, and welcome back to the show. I'm Kyler Collom, and Jonathan unfortunately had to step away for a second. So I'm going to start breaking down the first of our statewide issues. We're going to start in Burleigh County, something we've kind of been losing. Oh, there he is. He's back. He was here the whole time. He was just clowning. We're going to start breaking down the Burleigh County Auditor Treasurer situation. We've been kind of covering it for a while now. Back in May, Burleigh County Commission formally requested the removal of him, Mark Splonskowski. accusing him of misconduct, mismanagement, pretty much incompetence is where it was all boiling down to. And so because they requested the removal of an elected official, the Attorney General and the Governor are able to issue opinions, actually their opinions were requested on this, and they were issued. So first off, Attorney General Drew Wrigley, he looked into the allegations and a little over a week ago, recommended against initiating any kind of removal proceedings. He said that while there were some troubling allegations and some apparent professional performance lapses, the severity didn't warrant removal before the upcoming general election next year. So, at the end of last week, Governor Armstrong also issued an opinion on it. He's a lawyer, so he's an attorney. He has plenty of experience with things of this nature. And he pretty much sided with the Attorney General. He decided not to remove Splonskowski. He criticized his ineptitude and lack of financial acumen, but said ultimately that the voters should decide in the next election. And it's on the people to get him out if they don't want him.
That's fair.
And I think that it's still likely going to end up splitting the position.
No, that they voted.
Yeah, they've approved the plan. Yeah, July 8th, it's actually going to happen.
Right, it's effective. It was basically effective immediately.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah. So they have an interim treasurer that came in for it. Yeah, because the auditor, he's still the auditor position. So they have an interim treasurer that's come in now, and then I guess the position will either be filled by election or a hire. I guess that's not decided if they'll make this an elected position yet or not. And so then obviously Splonskowski he's denied everything of any wrongdoing.
Right.
And yeah,
he's got to do
with the governor and the attorney general not wanting to remove him. It's pretty much, this is where we're at this point, and the voters will have to decide in Burleigh County next summer.
Yeah. Were you surprised that there was no removal?
No, not really.
Not really.
I feel like,
what does it take to get removed by the governor or the AG?
Gosh, what did that sheriff do in the 80s? It was, I think he was like racketeering or something. So I feel like there has to be an actual crime committed rather than just incompetence.
Gotcha.
And I don't.
So because, I mean, this is kind of interesting because when that got sent to the governor, we were like, interesting, because we had heard rumors that if former mayor didn't resign, then some were going to go and push for the governor to remove him. And so it's like, all right, let's follow this process.
It's been an interesting process to see actually unfold and live in front of us.
Do you think if it got pushed to the governor for the Minot mayor that you would have been removed?
Man, that's a good question.
I don't. After this, I don't think you would have.
I lean to agree with you. Probably not.
They just want to stay out of that.
Yeah, I feel like I won't say no, but I feel like if I were to
because
bet
that would
on
be you're committing to something.
Exactly. I don't like that. But I think the odds of it happening are pretty low, or would have been pretty low. I think it's easier to keep the status quo. And again, especially in a similar situation where the general election would be the following year, just let the people vote them out at that point. But luckily, we didn't have to go through any of that.
No, that's good.
And instead, we have to go through a whole election now.
We do. So back to this. Yeah, interesting. It seems like they should, like, I don't even know what's the more important, the auditor or the treasurer rule. Seems like both of those should be elected positions. If one of them is, both of them should be.
Yeah, it's either one. It's either both of them or neither of them.
Yeah.
Like it feels like you can't.
Especially an auditor.
Yeah.
Like an auditor, if an auditor is appointed, that sounds sketch.
It has the ability to just open up some cloudy waters and not
automatically. Auto cloud.
Yes, it does. And not saying that it. Obviously it is. You can probably have someone great do it for 20 years, but it just feels like there's a chance for something to get thrown in, a wrench thrown in a stud or something there.
Right. Because, somebody wouldn't do it for 20 years.
Yeah. Because
there'd be a new admin that comes in, administration, and they'd be like, no, we want this as our auditor. Yeah. Like that's, I mean, obviously it's county stuff, so it might not be that strong, but like, that's the potential of what you have happening. They get an auditor that they like, so then there's less accountability, which is the problem that you have in the first place. So if you're struggling with the fact that you don't think there was good work done by somebody that was elected by the people, to go and remove that right from the people, though, is pretty sketch.
Yeah, 100% at that point. So then what is the county commission, if they do end up removing that, what are they going to end up trying to push for at that point in Burleigh? I mean, maybe everything stays the same and they just legitimately think Splonskowski is inept and should be out of the position. And
Well,
But
they do feel that way.
Yes, and maybe that is just it. But maybe also they want someone else in there that they can work better with, and some of the reasons behind it are different. We haven't looked into it enough. I've heard some stuff, but yeah.
If you want full coverage on that one, go to Watchdog Network. Dustin G. He's been following that pretty strong.
Yeah, he has some great articles on it where he breaks it down in depth. That's where a lot of what I've gotten on knowledge base from it has come from.
Yeah.
And I've seen, obviously, everyone else has had some blurbs here and there, but
very cool.
It's an interesting case down there.
Yeah, it is. Well, and another interesting case with these commissions and stuff is what happened in Newtown.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about this till it came to light yesterday or the day before. So back earlier this year in Newtown, they had a city council meeting. And
they happen.
Yes, as part of the meeting, they were discussing staff salaries. And when that happened, they asked the staff members that were present, just like all the city staff in Minots, when we have ours that are present, they asked them all to step out of the room.
No. Let's clarify that. You made it sound like Minot has them step out of the room as well.
No. Excuse me. Yeah, no. Minot has our city staff in all the city council meetings, and they're there for the whole thing.
Right, yeah. So, and it's not all, so a lot of the department heads or whatever are there.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And at this one, people had showed up on their own time because they wanted to track what was going to happen with these salaries. And they were asked to leave.
The city council asked them to step out of the room. Yes. And lo and behold, in open public meetings, that's not necessarily...
That's not kosher.
Yeah, it's a little bit frowned upon. So... guess what? The staff for citizens that were asked to leave requested an inquiry from the Attorney General on it. So Attorney General Wrigley...
He's been busy.
Yeah. Yesterday issued his opinion. And...
Isn't that... do you ever want to get to that point in life where you can issue your opinion? This is my official opinion.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. Everyone has to listen to your opinion.
Apparently. Not having a... Not going to get there. So the question is, did the city council violate code by asking city employees to leave an open city council meeting when their salaries were discussed? So his conclusion, he says, yes, that did violate century code, that state open meetings.
Oh, whoops, my bad.
Yeah. So Wrigley confirmed that salary discussions fall under open meeting obligations and cannot be conducted behind closed doors, excluding public employees. So the city now must take corrective actions, and it's going to serve as a reminder to everyone else, especially after this legislative cycle where they have a new century code where public appearances must be mandatory at all of these meetings. The only way they could have done something like this is if they're able to put it into an executive session, which typically that has to be decided prior to the meeting.
Gotcha. And typically that's not employment salaries.
No, and that certainly isn't something that has to do with that.
Yeah,
so.
Typically that's negotiations. I think we saw that a little bit with the because there's a union involved with this. Is that the school?
Yeah,
my public school.
Yep. So you'll see a lot of the meetings will be publicly open, but then when the negotiation part happens, they'll go behind to members only kind of thing,
and then they'll present an offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think it provides more of a basis of the state stepping in and starting to require stuff out of these public meetings done by local municipalities and stuff.
I think you're right. I think so much of it will have to do with that public appearances thing that came up. Because now if they're going to start enforcing things like, and this should be enforced, no doubt about it. This is the necessary thing and they did the right thing on this. But all of a sudden you could start seeing, if anyone tries to skirt away with anything on the public appearances side, you could start seeing a lot more of these requests start to come to light.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, AG might be busy.
Yeah, old Drew Wrigley is gonna be a busy guy.
Yeah,
Drew Wrigley Field.
D-Dub, Drew Wrigley Field.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But no, one other one that I got here for us too. So there was a ton of storms in the state.
There were
a couple weeks back. 2 weeks.
Feels like they don't want to stop.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Last night there was some tornado warnings in Burleigh County again. So just crazy stuff. Saw some wild clouds down there.
The storm watchers, I heard they're starting to get apartments.
They're just starting to move in up here now. Most tornadoes we've had in a year since 2011, though.
Since the flood
year. Yeah, I don't even remember there being tornadoes, but we were a little.
There was one in Minot.
We were a little. I do remember that big wall cloud. Yeah.
I don't know that it's technically a tornado. I wasn't here for that.
remember there was something else going on that year that I think preoccupied most of Minot people.
Oh, it wasn't the fair.
No. Yeah, the fair was not here that year at all. Kid Rock was supposed to come that year and didn't show up either. Well, it wasn't his fault that time.
Oh, that's good. That's good right there. Man.
I tried. I went to his concert the next year when he came back, 2012.
Oh yeah,
remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. Was that one good?
This was okay. It was neat.
Did he show up?
Yeah, he did. He was there. I think that was the last time he was actually at the fair.
Nice.
But to circle back to where we started, those storms obviously did a lot of damage, especially to rural farmland, crop areas, farmers, a lot of things like that. So
$100,000 worth of damage, probably.
Yeah, give or take, if not.
Probably a lot more.
Yeah. Individually to like per person kind of thing.
Yeah, but even more than that per person.
Yeah.
Like if you take out a house, that's more than 100,000.
Oh, by far. If you take out a whole field, that's probably and equipment.
More money than I'm worth.
Exactly. So on Monday, Governor Armstrong announced a relief initiative that is aimed at helping farmers and ranchers rebuild following those storms. It's through the Bank of North Dakota. And how can the governor have the Bank of North Dakota do that? Here's the key. Yes,
it's coming.
The governor's on the board of directors for the Bank of North Dakota through the North Dakota Industrial Commission. So
are you a little salty about this?
I'm not getting there yet. We'll get there later. I just have to add that context in before I get to the rest of the program. So it's now dubbed the Grain Storage and Facility Rebuilder Program. And it's designed to assist with reconstruction or temporarily replacing damaged agricultural structures. So, grain bins that got blown over. Obviously, there was that one train that got wiped off the tracks. I mean, they're not going to be eligible, but that's the scale of the damage here. So any of these people that were affected. Gosh, I can't speak. This is why I don't do scripts. Whenever I read words, it doesn't happen right.
Interesting.
Temporary.
So how are you going to do the parade?
I have no idea.
Isn't it just one huge script?
I'm gonna wing the whole thing, but I'm gonna read.
You're gonna wing the whole thing.
It's gonna be a blast,
dude. I want to be there now.
You should.
He's gonna wing the whole thing.
I hope the lady.
You're gonna just create up stuff about these people.
No. I'm just gonna have fun with it.
What are you gonna say when the mayoral candidates stop by?
I'm just announce the float.
Yeah. What are you gonna wing? What's your little add-in commentary?
I don't know what their commentary requirements is. I'm gonna have my little ad libs throughout. It's just what the rapport will be like with the person I'm doing it with. That's what it's going to be.
Do you know which candidates are doing it?
Janser and Fuller. I
for
believe.
Sure?
Yes. I know those two for sure. I
don't
remember if there's anyone else. I don't know if Pittner or Josiah got it in or not.
Dude. Yeah, I have some ideas for floats. All right, go ahead.
So back to the Bank of North Dakota program. It's these producers that were affected can apply for up to $150,000 in aid. The total funding pool is at about $37 million. So it's
right around Kelly Armstrong's net worth.
Is it? I
have no idea.
I believe it, but I don't know.
I have no idea. That was said in jest. It was a joke.
Oil wells make people money. Well, they do. That's just a fact of life. But what?
Wrigley Field does too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so applications open as of yesterday, so people can start applying. You apply through the Bank of North Dakota website, and hopefully, it's. I think the governor emphasized something along the line saying it's nowhere near enough to fully recover the losses, but hopefully it's a good start for a lot of these producers and something that could be considered a once in a generation or maybe even lifetime kind of situation. And hopefully this program can help some people out. It's all aid, so I can't imagine there's any kind of repayment that's going to, I know there is long-term financing that's available, but I don't know how much of the repayment is going to be a necessary thing with a lot of this. I know a lot of the Bank of North Dakota loans can get wiped off if they want, so that's not a new thing there. So yeah, hopefully that'll be a good thing for a lot of those producers that got wiped out down there.
Pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. So
at least there's some kind of relief, although again it won't be enough. Yeah. But the relief typically is never enough. It's typically the bootstrapping of North Dakotas that get through those situations.
You're darn right there. You betcha. So I was mentioning something at the start of this.
You did.
I think I've talked about
really
it
wasn't
before.
The point of the whole thing, but we're going to go there today.
Well, do you want to talk about something else? What else you got for me? I'm ready. If you got something else, I'll go there.
Minor Air Force is getting some money potentially. Air Force Base.
Yeah, like billions of dollars from the big beautiful bill.
Yeah.
Is
Triple B.
Is that part of the like Sentinel program, or is that just additional stuff
Yeah,
that just
I don't know.
they're like more money?
Estimated
Take it.
$7.8 billion in new federal funding. It says new federal funding.
New federal funding. So here's an $8 billion. Minot. Have fun. See what happens.
Minot Air Force Base.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, yeah.
If
Math.
if Minot got $8 billion, then all of a sudden you'd see a flood project that would turn into $8 billion.
Maybe it'd get done. Maybe it'd be done in like 3 years. It just costs $7 billion to do it.
Yeah. All right, we're just gonna be in so much trouble after this show.
Of course.
We said everything wrong today. All right. North Dakota Monitor has a couple things. We'll be getting those out later today. Legislators, potentially this will be out, should discuss possible veto lawsuit in open meeting about this whole veto that...
there is such a fuss being made about this whole thing. Like, you got one side that's like, how could anyone even request the governor to redo his veto? You're just throwing stones at him. You're making all this.
Who says this?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do I have to quote it? Because it's not a quote, it's a paraphrase.
Okay.
But you have people that are all worked up and saying that it's just it's a pitchfork army against the governor to.
No, it's not. He messed up.
This is setting precedent. If you do this, you are opening up a bag of worms for future vetoes or executive orders. If you don't do exactly what you say you're doing and cross out exactly what you say you're crossing out, intent. When you are in a court of law and you're trying to prove intent, if you can, it is incredibly hard, because that's the difference between like first and second degree murder.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't prove the intent to do something, you're not going to jail for nearly as long. You're going to have a chance at parole. Like, you still killed the person, but if they can't prove that it was a malicious intent behind it, you're going to have a chance to get out.
Tyler's fired up on this one,
I am.
folks.
This one bugs me.
Yeah, it does. Just own it.
Just own it. Call the session. Get it over with. We had days lined up.
What's going to be epic, though, is that there is a lawsuit against it. Obviously, this is just a commentary, so I don't know that there will be. But if there was a lawsuit about this, like, so it turns into like just this huge deal.
Yeah,
it probably costs more money than what just
exactly.
one day session.
Just called a special session for a day, brought everyone in, overridden the veto, had them redo it, end of story.
Done.
Call it a day.
Wow, we're
Probably
all happy
don't even
now.
need to bring everyone in. Bring a quorum.
Yeah. So what? So why all the pushback?
People have to defend Armstrong and say that the governor did the right thing when his intent is enough. Explained intent is enough.
Yeah, people have to defend him, but why doesn't Armstrong just call the session?
Because then he'd have to admit mistake. He'd have to admit fault.
I see.
And as an attorney, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty bad thing.
Kyler, settle down, man.
I'm sorry.
You are riled up today.
It was a fun one. I took my riled upness out on this situation instead of the NDIC. So
I see. No, we can go there too. Indie after-school providers, school districts in limbo due to frozen federal grants. So that's not good either.
No.
State impact estimated at $25.4 million.
Oh, million. Okay. I mean, that's not good. That's a lot of money. Isn't that crazy?
Office of Management and Budget withheld $6.8 billion in federal education grants for the upcoming school year for further review. The total withheld for North Dakota is estimated to be about $25.4 million based on what the state received in 2024. According to the State Department of Public Instruction, that represents about 15% of what the state receives annually in K through 12 funding from the U.S. Department of Education, according to the Learning Policy Institute.
Okay.
Robin Nelson, CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Red River Valley, says, "We are all in limbo. Everybody's just kind of on pins and needles, just waiting for what happens next, and we're kind of at the mercy of what is determined by a federal administration."
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're supported by federal dollars, I guess that shouldn't be shocking that it's all going to come falling down on them. But also the shock of such a last minute kind of freeze on this is definitely surprising. There's 6 weeks still, or maybe at most 8 weeks till school.
I mean, you're saying that's surprising, but what we've learned is that timelines don't mean much.
No.
After school providers use the grants in different ways, so the impact may vary depending on the provider. She said the Boys and Girls Club of the Red River Valley used the grants to provide up to 85% tuition assistance for families that qualified. Those discounts may no longer be available unless the funds are released by the start of the school year. Nelson said, "We would be charging the full amount and trying to leverage other sources to continue to make our programming affordable. Not only is it youth programming, but a lot of families use it as childcare. So this crosses over into the child care crisis and shortage as well. Yes,
It
two
all
worlds meet.
comes full circle.
Yes.
Minot already has a child care issue. Now we're going to take away the federal money that helps alleviate some of that issue.
But I don't even know. Like
maybe that's not what's going to happen.
I would have to look at big budgets and try to understand them, and then I wouldn't. So then
I'd get frustrated.
So some of this stuff, like that's one thing with the budget. Like first off, everyone's upset about the big beautiful bill right now, and if it was on the other side of the aisle, everyone would be upset about whatever they called their bill, right? So that's part of the game. You are too. I'm getting sick of the game. Something's going to get cut and something's going to get funded, and people are going to be upset about what got cut, what got funded. So that's all part of the game. And then part of that though is what we have chosen. The route that people kind of want is let's continue funding everything we're funding. Let's also fund these other things that we need now because we're living in the 21st century. And let's also cut the amount that we spend, though, so that way we stay balanced. And also, let's not raise our revenues because if we did that, that would cost people more money. So let's get all that figured out in one budget. And that's actually impossible. That's actually literally impossible.
Yes, it is.
So, like, in order, and I'm not saying that this bill is the thing. Like, that's not my point at all. My point is, like, things are going to get cut. Things are going to get funded. The thing that, in order to be successful in life, is you have to adapt.
I agree. And I think cuts are necessary. Get it to a balanced bill.
Right.
And I think
that's the most frustrating part.
Yes.
Is if
they're making cuts. And they're making cuts that people
but they're also
don't like.
spending money.
But that's the thing. They're raising ICE is $113 billion. We're going to have $1 trillion in military.
But maybe that's going to save money. I'm not saying that truly. Okay, maybe that's their thinking though.
That's
that
fair.
It's going to save money.
That's fair. That's a thought.
I have no idea.
I mean, I guess in theory, the tariffs are going to bring in enough revenues to offset.
Totally.
To offset the deficit.
Actually, right. Yeah.
Well, and guess what? Over the past couple of days, how many more tariffs have been announced?
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
it crazy what that comes off the heels of? It's everything that was announced on Monday, or what was announced doesn't exist on Monday. It's crazy, dude.
Dude, Kyler,
I am fired up.
You got to get some sleep or something.
I'm gonna say something bad.
Yeah, you are.
So,
NDIC.
Do you want me to?
You got 3 minutes. Yeah.
All right. So I've mentioned the NDIC before.
Are you going to say anything that's going to get
no,
in trouble?
Gosh, no.
Good.
Well, I mean, it should.
Bro, like, you act like that'd be an impossibility, but even
I'm good at that. I love to get us in trouble. I love to say dumb stuff and make people mad. I don't care. So here's the NDIC. It's led by the governor, the attorney general, and the agriculture commissioner. It's in charge of 17 different entities across the state that is involved in regulation.
What does it stand for?
The North Dakota Industrial Commission.
Did you just say that?
I did it earlier. I guess
Okay.
I probably should have again. If anyone missed that earlier part, I apologize.
That's cool.
So, Industrial Commission has three people at the head of it.
3 people.
Yes.
And they're in charge of 17.
17 different entities. Those be grant writing programs, regulation programs.
So they have full control over those.
Effectively, yes. They have all the approval and disapproval of it. The Bank of North Dakota, they're in charge of. They are the board of directors of the Bank of North Dakota, as well as the state mill. And
these people get voted in.
These 3 do, yes. They're voted in by the public.
Okay.
The North Dakota Industrial Commission was started in 1919 to be.
I remember that year.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know, right? It was like
60, me and Teddy were hanging out.
Yeah. He wasn't doing hot in 1919.
Yeah, he wasn't. It was sad.
Yeah. Anyways, it was initially started to be the state's entity for the state-run programs, which was the Bank of North Dakota and the state mill at that time, and also like the State Builders Association. There was a couple other ones that they had back in the day when the NPL came around. Fast forward, all of a sudden they keep tacking things onto it, whether it be energy and mineral development, like if there's any pipelines that are to be built, it goes through the NDIC. And the interesting part is that maybe this is a good thing, but the agriculture commissioner is in charge of these things. And
interesting.
Just feels a little.
So who are the 3 people? Who are the 3 people that are voted in by the people?
Attorney General Drew Wrigley, Governor.
AG.
Governor Kelly Armstrong.
Yay.
And
Gov.
Agriculture Commissioner Doug Goring.
So another AG. No, AC.
AC, yeah.
Yeah,
AGC.
Yeah.
And so between the three of them, they hold literally, and I mean this all seriousness, some of the most centralized and controlling power of any state entity in the country. They control all of the money effectively in the only state bank in the country. They control.
That's right. Because North Dakota is unique there.
Yes. No other state has a state-owned bank and operated bank.
They did not take fondly to when the Gateway pundit said negative things about them.
Yes.
Am I?
I'm not saying anything bad about the state bank.
I wasn't, but I was just thinking about that. You're the only state bank in the country.
Yes. And this group is led also. Another interesting one is the Attorney General being there. So say the Industrial Commission votes on a pipeline to be constructed in place and it gets approved, and say a lawsuit comes from that, and all of a sudden you need the Attorney General to issue an opinion on it. Well, how's he going to do that when he was a voting member on the approval of it? How's he going to issue a non-biased
So you're saying that
objective
could
opinion?
be potentially seen as a conflict of interest?
Yes. And again, this one's much less so. I think the most of the three, the governor has the most right to be on there by far. But I mean, when they're approving all of these mineral oil and gas things, it's just interesting.
Seems like you should be able to have at least one person on there that's voted by the people directly to be on there.
Yeah, for as powerful as this thing is, completely so.
Right.
I feel like you should have someone that has more expertise in some of these industries. I mean, obviously,
Well, that you probably need to move it to like a 5-person board too.
I think that would make a lot of sense. In
At
today's
least
day and
maybe
age.
7.
Like, it's something that should happen. I think there needs to be more of a push and a
But
lot more knowledge.
the
about
thing
this
is,
thing.
we've already seen it, and this is negative right here, but we've already seen it with this veto.
Yeah.
The governor and the AG are well connected.
Yeah, they are.
Like the AG, in my opinion, and I don't get to publish my opinions, but I guess I could on a commentary.
You could.
I know I don't.
You can do the Jonathan's column.
Yeah, Jonathan's column. But when I publish my opinion, people don't listen to it.
I mean, they don't listen to
Typically,
mine
right.
either.
Yeah. Well, they read it.
One time.
Sometimes, probably a couple times, and they share it.
That one time it happened, yeah.
It's happened many times.
Well, on an actual opinion,
Well, if
the
you would stop,
historical
if
stuff,
you would stop being a keyboard warrior,
I
then
know.
maybe it'd work out better.
I'm disgusting.
But anyways, I digress. AG and the governor are very well connected.
Yeah, they are.
And so for them to be on the board, they now, even if the ad commissioner wasn't like following in suit, they have voting. They can override any vote
Exactly.
because it's 2-1. So it seems interesting. And you're going to find that probably, well, maybe not always, but the governor and the AG, it seems like they have to have a decent relationship because they're going to be working together a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps there'd be...
Those are probably the two most powerful statewide officials elected officials.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Seems like if they're both going to be on, then it should be a 5-member board so they couldn't automatically, if they're in agreement, override the other person.
I just feel like, and this is not a shot at anyone specifically, but the Attorney General being on there was a mishap from the start. I feel like
I hear you. You make a
Yeah.
really good point because how can he defend his own vote?
Yeah, his own, like how can he come with a neutral and objective statement on it and defend it from a moderate point of view rather than having to come and defend what he voted on at that point?
Yeah, for sure.
But
Well, that's interesting.
I expect on Saturday have an article on the history of the NDIC I'm going to have come out.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you keyboard warrior.
I am, yes. But this one isn't an opinion. This one's just one of my historical things that I like to write about.
Yeah,
The second follow-up might be more opinionated.
that's good. No, honestly, there was a article that you did about Minot's perception. People should go back and read it. It was really good. It was
you.
no keyboard warrior fodder found in there.
Could argue it is, but
I think that perhaps
here.
the perception of a city is not necessarily created by those boots on the ground, but by those that can only view it from a keyboard. That's where the greatest perception is created.
There you go.
And if those people have a negative perception, then your city actually has a negative perception.
Exactly.
And that's something that you should work on addressing. If it doesn't, then that's great. And I'm not saying that Minot does. I'm just saying go read the article.
Yes, you're right. And just to summarize or accentuate that point from Rob Port's article yesterday, where he wrote about what was it? Yeah, Josiah suing the city. He said, "I have a statewide audience for this column, which is to say most of you reading this don't live in Minot, and you may be curious then why I've been spending so much time writing about Minot politics."
Yeah, dude.
The answer is
leave
that
to
Minot
us.
politics is off the rails, so much so that I believe it's of statewide interest. mean, that just feeds into the negative perception.
Well, there you have it.
Yes.
Good times.
It was. This was a fun one, Jonathan. I had fun.
This
today.
was a roller coaster. Guess what?
Chick-
No.
I didn't. What?
No. Marvin Nelson, throughout the lawmaking process, the clear language is controlling, except now the governor's intent becomes controlling in the case of a veto. His message is sent to the legislature, but now the Secretary of State has to look at that message to interpret the veto.
It's not clear. What are we doing?
It's not clear.
Room for ambiguity. What are we doing?
So, next week, the guess what is next week, I'm going to be out of town.
No, I'm going to have to run it solo again.
Finally, this is last deal for the foreseeable future.
Last time he's going to let me do it alone.
Yep.
And on Tuesday, I'm going to have a good friend of the show, Lisa Hermosillo, is going to be back on.
Lisa,
if everything works
she's
out.
back.
And schedules don't get messed up. Yeah, she's back in town, so we're going to have her on to discuss some of the stuff that's gone on this summer and be a good time.
Be a good time. Thursday, we'll have something.
That's a week away.
And then also, we're hoping to have some financial disclosures.
Yep. That's what. As soon as we're done here, that's what I'm going to be working on here.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good. Other fun stuff will be coming out soon. Thank you for watching this episode. We really appreciate it. Sorry about the dropped frames. There's 51 of them. We missed every single one of those frames.
Sorry.
Thanks for watching those. Make sure you like and subscribe because
we're like almost
that's just so cool when you subscribe.
Almost at 900 subscribers.
It's crazy. That's crazy to think about, man. It's been a long journey. This year's been crazy.
When I came on board, we were at like 180 or something, and just to see that steadily grow has been fun.
Yep. In the last 365 days, it's been such a whirlwind of fun and memories and things you never thought would happen and things you didn't know could happen and things that did happen.
I second most of that.
Most of that because he doesn't fully understand. But we got almost 600 subscribers in the last year.
Wow.
So new ones. So shout out to every single one of you. We care about every single one of you. We do.
You make us able to continue or want to continue to do this.
Yes, for sure. Thanks for watching this episode. Have a great rest of your day.